Hi everyone, welcome back to another video from Wesno's Tech News and Reviews. Well, it does seem that the AMAZFIT GTR Series saga continues. I think we've talked about the GTR 4 in detail. Now, I think it's time to actually look back. Well, yeah, all the way back to the GTR first series. Then there's GTR 2, GTR 3, as well as GTR 3 Pro. So, if you had one of those watches, would you want to actually upgrade to this bad boy? So we're going to start this series with the comparison of the GTR 4 versus the original GTR 1. So the first GTR in the AMAZFIT series. Well, without further ado, let's get into this review and comparison. The GTR first series was an amazing watch. It actually looked like a real Swiss watch. It was absolutely beautiful. It was the best looking smartwatch you can get on the market at that particular time. And that wasn't such a long time ago. It was only 3 years ago. That's right. So the most important thing I think about the GTR first series is that it was offered in two sizes, the 42mm diameter and the 47mm diameter. Now that did provide quite a lot of options. So for the people with the smaller or the thinner wrists, maybe even females, they could go for the 42mm option. If you wanted to go for the full blast, the 47mm, well, you had that option too. You had up to 24 days on the 47mm version, while the battery on the 42mm version was just up to 12 days. But nonetheless, at that particular time, that was great. So the 42mm version did have a display size of 1.2 inch and the resolution was 326 ppi. This is the resolution of the AMAZFIT GTR 4. 3 years later, we still see that resolution. Now, on the 47mm watch, you still had the 326 ppi, but it was just big. It was a bigger screen. Now, of course, the LED plates were not as good. So basically, the blacks weren't as deep. You could see that the resolution is high, but maybe the speed of the CPU wasn't quick enough. So it was just a bit tacky, but it did look great for the time. There was quite a premium feature on the watch in regards to the display, and that was the actual ambient light sensor. So you could still get a full-on auto brightness. Now that was great for something coming back from 2019 to 2020. That was pretty serious stuff. Ambient light sensor allows you to basically save battery life. So when it's dark, the screen dims, and when it's really bright outside, the screen actually brightens up and allows you to see what's on the display at any time in any light conditions. Now, because the screen does dim automatically, it saves on the battery juice. So back in the day, when the watch was offered for only like $100 or about 100 quid, this was amazing. And considering that you can pick up the AMAZFIT GTR first series now for around 30 quid second hand, or that's about 30-40 bucks, maybe it's not a bad option. But there were some limitations to the GTR first series, and that is of course sport modes. There you only had 12. Now we're talking 154 sport modes on the GTR 4. Well, now we actually have the GTR 4 with us. So it's this bad boy right here. Now this watch is absolutely amazing, and I'm going to leave a link just above me right now to the full review of this watch. We've actually reviewed its heart rate accuracy based on the optical heart rate sensor at the back here, and the results were quite astonishing. They were that good. Well, back then, just 12. Yep, they were very functional, of course. You had the ones that you wanted, like running, walking, cycling. You had swimming. It was a 518 water resistant watch. But again, 12 versus 154, that's quite a big one. Back on the GTR first series, you only had 2 GPS or satellite networks available. So you had GPS to measure your speed and distance, but really they were quite, well, crap. Yep, I can't say anything else because I've done quite a few GPS accuracy tests with the GTR First Series, and the results were, well, sometimes off by as much as 25%. So make sure to have a look at the playlist from back then and have a look for the GTR First Series GPS accuracy tests. The results were not amazing. If we backtrack to the displays were actually quite good. So you got the 1.39 inches on the 47mm version, and you had the 1.2 inch on the 42mm version. The actual displays had anti-fingerprint coatings as well as that they had tempered glass over them, so that would save you in your daily use. So where you have micro scratches or small bumps as you basically wear them every day, you would be protected from that because of the tempered glass on top of the display. Now, the watch had quite good functionality in terms of it had a barometer, there was a compass, the watch could measure your stress and your heart rate continuously. That was what people were looking for back then. But of course, there was no SpO2 monitor. With this watch, you get continuous SpO2. In fact, this watch takes your sleep metrics to the whole new level. And how does sleep and SpO2 come together? Well, not quite SpO2, but it is to do with respiration. It is to do with how it looks at your breathing. So this watch actually measures during your sleep or nap times your breathing rate. So how many breaths do you take per minute? As well as that, it gives you your breathing quality index. Now, of course, the First Series just didn't get that. And for the time, we didn't even know these things were possible. So again, if you don't need all those extra bits and pieces, maybe it is better to go out and buy a used or second-hand AMAZFIT GTR 1, considering the price. Since I live in UK, I've been looking for second-hand AMAZFIT GTR 1 just to look what the price is. And the highest price I've been able to find is 40 quid. That's about, what, 50 bucks. Now, the usual price of the market is about 30 quid, so that's about like 35 bucks. So maybe, just maybe, it's not a bad option for you. Considering, of course, that over time, yes, the battery life most probably has shrunk, but even if you go for the 42mm version, the battery life will still be quite lengthy. Considering that originally, out of the pack when it's brand new, you expected 12 days, while on the 47mm version, it's 24 days. So even if the battery is well used, you'll still get at least half of that, and that's very good. Considering what else can you get on the market today for such a low price? Let's say 40 quid, 50 bucks. Well, you're gonna get yourself a very budget fitness tracker. Here, you get a full-on smartwatch. Anyways, so this is it. The AMAZFIT GTR 1, I can't really compare it to the AMAZFIT GTR 4 because this watch is a monster compared to that one. But they've got 3 whole years in between them. But I do want to say that the AMAZFIT GTR 1 was a hell of a good looking watch. It was a beautiful watch. It looked almost like Swiss design. On the market back then, watches were pretty bland. I don't think the brands could quite get what they were looking for in a smartwatch. That one had distinctive good looks. I think we'll finish off at that. Anyways, thanks for watching. If you do want to continue watching this series where I talk about the all-new AMAZFIT GTR 4 versus the prior models, so AMAZFIT GTR 2, 3, 3 Pro, all of these videos will be uploaded to YouTube shortly. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.